Greetings to you all, and welcome to Alert 2 Yuri's Revenge 1 Unit Challenge. This time we'll be limiting ourselves to only building UFOs. I think that's their proper name, might not be. The rules are simple. Our opponent is set to brutal difficulty. Base defenses can be built, but only used for defense. Or miners can be built, but only through the purchasing of refineries. We play on official tournament map A, because it's theoretically the fairest. And other than that, the only units we can ever build are flying saucers. That's right, I'm going to mix up the name every now and again until I sin what it's actually called in the sidebar. Let's begin.
New construction options.
So this is going to be a slightly longer mission, because I'm going to have to go all the way up the tech tree. As you might expect, UFOs are requiring a battle lab.
Building.
They are fairly advanced, considering they hover. But they are built from the war factories, very similar to Kirov's. Because I think I'm settling in for a while, I'm going to be going for double slave miner this time. But I don't think I'm going to need that much money. I'm entertaining the idea of sending the slave miners forwards, harvesting aggressively and then retreating to the safe patches later. But it's not going to be that close cut or difficult of a mission. I'm not going to need that much money. So I'm just going to let them harvest the closest.
Construction complete.
Gonna be fine.
New construction options.
All here. Is my shift over yet? Slaves are cheap. Slaves are cheap. Dig, dig.
That's what you tell him, man. He has some rather dubious voice lines, this chap. Need to be very careful. YouTube isn't going to be too happy if he says a certain one. I'll leave that mystery alive. I'll keep you watching.
Construction complete. Building.
Right, up the tech tree we go. He can harvest us. This is fine.
Construction complete.
So, an interesting thing
New construction
it's worth talking about. The power plants. The way that power works for Yuri is he has basic power plants that give 150 power, but you can put infantry in them, sacrifice them, essentially. They become biomass, which becomes fuel. You see these little cells here? 5 of them.
Complete.
Every person you send into the power plant becomes biofuel and increases the output of the power plant. Now, interestingly enough, the person doesn't die when they become fuel. They can leave. They're just sort of temporarily in the vat of... Honestly, it looks like a deep fat fryer. So I'm not really sure how this works, biologically speaking. But the whole reason I'm bringing this up, if I'm not playing infantry, that's the challenge, I can't really fill this. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, you got slaves, haven't you? Slaves aren't allowed in there, because otherwise everyone would just fill them with slaves, because slaves automatically replenish from the slave miner.
Construction complete.
So if that were possible, I would do it,
Options.
but it's not allowed. It is still possible, technically. If I wanted to fill these, I'd have to build barracks, sell them to get initiates, and then put the initiates in the power plant. But that's worse than just building a power plant and leaving it at base. So that's what we're gonna do.
Building. Construction complete.
Just means we're gonna end up with a lot of power plants, but that's fine. It's gonna be similar to allies. They have power plants all over the place because they don't have an advanced form of power either. Right, you're gonna learn the main base defense tactic. And I want to make something clear. Psychic towers are our advanced base defense. It's the equivalent of a prism tower or a Tesla coil. It mind controls the enemies that attack us. It's very good because the AI doesn't play around it.
Building.
But then the question becomes, if I mind control a unit, what am I allowed to do with it? Also get used to that noise, it's psychic reveal.
Construction
If I mind control a unit, can I use that unit?
Building.
Floating disc, I wasn't right a single time.
New rally point established.
I argue
Building.
that any unit I mind control with a tower,
Construction complete.
I'm allowed to use for defense, because it's part of the defense. And I said I can use base defense structures for defense.
Construction complete.
So if 2 tanks come my way and I mind control a tank, I think I can make them fight one another, and that's fine. Hopefully no one considers that cheating. What I'm not going to allow...
Construction complete.
That's a lot of infantry. What I'm not going to allow is to then,
Unit ready.
when the fight's over, use the tank to attack with.
Our base is under attack.
I will show you what I intend to do with the units that are left over.
Repairing.
I'm going to build a grinder.
Building.
So every time
Insufficient funds.
I take control of units, when the current defense is over, I'm going to grind them. I'm not going to keep them, because I think that's also kind of lame. Imagine if I'd just stolen 3 prism tanks, I'd be perfectly safe for all eternity. Also, I'd question how my Soviet opponent had prism tanks.
Laser beam ready.
But you understand my point.
Unit ready.
Ore processor.
Can you move up a little bit?
Moving mining operations.
New construction options.
Surging forward.
Now what I'm going to do is anything I mind control, when the current fight is over, is going in the grinder. That way I get rid of it, but I get a little something out of it. The alternative, I suppose, I could put infantry in the power plants. Maybe I'll allow that as well, but I'm not sure how that works with mind control. Are they still mind controlled when they're in the power plant? I don't know. What happens if the power plant dies? Do they come out hostile again? I don't know. It's a bit weird.
Unit ready.
That's an interesting attack force you've gone for. I feel hard countered right now.
Levitation units online. Siphons ready.
So I'm not particularly scared.
Force shield ready.
I suppose it's on the sharp psychic reveal.
Target.
So every faction has a scouting tool. This is the one that Yuri gets. You click, you see the area. It's far sight. It's Comsat sonar scan. I'm referencing different games here. You can keep up.
Unit ready.
Good job.
Siphons ready. Yuri's collection agency. Smooth ride.
It's very simple. You just point and click and then you can see there. You've seen this scout plane from Soviets quite a lot if you've watched my campaign playthrough. But that's what the Soviets get. They get the scout plane. Also, my opponent just used it against me. Allies, they don't get any power they can routinely use, but they can build the GPS uplink, which reveals the entire map. The Allied one is the strongest, but you have to pay. Whereas Yuri and Soviets are roughly equivalent to one another. I mean, they're different in the fact that you can shoot down the scout plane, but the scout plane sees further. It also sees narrower, but longer. So if you want to get technical, you know, there are differences, but they're close enough. I don't know why I hate these infantry so much. No, I was hoping to attack early with a couple of floating discs.
Building.
But unfortunately, they built so much anti-air that I don't think I can. Now, floating discs are interesting as a unit because they can shoot lasers, as you've seen. But they can also, for a couple of buildings... Does it show a different icon? It doesn't. They can hover over the building and use a kind of tractor beam. If you do it over a refinery, you would actually steal ore from the enemies. If you do it over a base defense structure, it would disable the structure. So, if I'd attacked quickly enough, and all they had for anti-air was, let's say, 2 flak cannons, I could disable them both.
Unit ready.
And as long as I have enough UFOs to keep the base defenses, the anti-air base defenses offline, I basically couldn't lose. But no, my opponent decided they were going to make
Warning. Iron curtain.
a ridiculously large number of flak tracks. So that's the end of that plan.
Yuri mining facility
Move up, move up.
reporting mining operations.
Look, these people don't even have shoes. Okay,
Insufficient
don't make them walk so
funds.
far. Although they are walking on the sand, so it's not that bad.
Spinning away. Smooth ride. Levitation.
Alright, may the attack begin. You have control of this? You do not. That means it gets to survive.
It's online. Spinning away.
Not sure who built this and then abandoned it.
Levitation.
But there it is.
They have nothing.
Not sure why I'm so scared of an iron curtain. Yes. Yes, that's the damage these things do. We hadn't touched on that yet, had we?
Levitation.
These things are pretty good.
They will make a generous offering.
Oh, you can power down... I forgot you could do that. Tractor beam a power plant.
Levitation units online. Smooth ride. Their systems are vulnerable.
Wait, I only need one of you to do this. How do I...
Yuri's collection agency.
Can you not attack it?
Unit lost. Our base is under attack. Unit lost.
Okay, well this was news to me. So apparently you can't attack base defense structures. I knew you could disable them, but I didn't think attacking them was impossible. What about force fire?
Spinning away. Yuri thanks them for their support.
No, even when I order a force fire command, if it's something you can siphon from, you can't attack it.
Building.
Accepting donations.
Why is this unexpected?
Let's transfer the siren. Ready. Spinning away.
Gear of reporting. Waiting order.
Oh, wait, you guys should be in the grinder. Grinding the enemies is just good in general as well, because
Under attack.
these towers can only mind control 3 units, so I want to keep freeing up their mind control slots.
Unit ready.
Accepting donations. Spinning away. Levitation units
Warning.
online.
Iron curtain detected.
Gear of reporting.
Kirovs, eh?
Yuri
That's something I can't mind control.
spinning away. Laser beam.
Unit ready. Unit lost.
Levitation.
Place your bets. Can a UFO shoot at something in the air?
Construction complete.
I'm as surprised as you, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think they could.
Building.
Yuri accepting donations.
Construction complete. Building. Construction complete.
That's fine,
Unit
actually.
ready.
Looks like we are gonna need to switch to another ore patch
Construction
outside of the 3 starting ones. Those Kirovs did remarkably well, considering they were being fired on the entire time.
Unit ready. Repairing.
Yeah, let's have a look up here then.
Select target.
Let's transfer some. Spinning away.
Okay, so if I can't attack power plants, base defense structures,
Spinning
or
away.
refineries,
Set to destroy.
then I'm just going for production, yes?
Spinning away. Spinning away. Smooth ride. Spinning away.
I don't think all of my units grouping up like this is good for me. I pressed the scatter key, you wouldn't believe it, but I am. Every beep is me pressing the scatter key.
Levitation units online. Smooth ride. Yuri's collection away. Smooth ride.
Warning. Nuclear silo detected.
Accepting donation.
That's fine, nothing will never fire.
Smooth ride.
Unit ready.
Levitation Spinning away.
It's just going to have to be a suicide strike on this and this, because, as you recall, in Yuri's Revenge, the AI will rebuild the construction yard by building an MCV. So both targets need to fall. And that one's covered by that one.
Unit ready.
The Iron Curtain doesn't scare me. Walls are a poor choice of defense against this particular attack.
Levitation units online. Levitation units online. Spinning away. They are in our way.
Unit promoted. Insufficient funds.
Online.
Slowly does it. Scout plane, maybe? Yes, it's the only thing it can be. It's coming in from off the map.
Levitation units.
You've probably noticed by now, but UFOs self-heal.
Levitation units online.
Which is why after I attack with them, I park them over the ocean for a bit before attacking again.
Levitation units online.
Oh, I'm going for it. Next target is this, then this.
Unit lost.
Okay, that's good. Opponent can no longer rebuild the MCV. Opponent has forgotten that it made all of these flak tracks. Opponent can no longer build anything. Okay, that is a victory. Unless my base gets overrun by a massive attack. But I can confirm the opponent has no production left.
Yuri's collection agency. Levitation units online.
Now, will they give up and sell everything or not? I'm not entirely sure at this point. I think they should.
Smooth ride.
But my understanding of the AI has been shaky at best. I wouldn't be surprised if they suddenly sell everything.
Player defeated.
Like that.
You are victorious.
And that's the end of my statement. Thank you for hearing me out. Right, that's gonna do it. Another 1 unit challenge. In the bag, in the bank, in all other kinds of storage areas. Next time, I'm gonna be playing... Ooh, we're gonna make a choice. Ah, decisions are tough. I'm going to try... Gatling cannons. The base defense structure. Hopefully you'll join me for that. And I shall. See you then.